guys, welcome back to my How to Become an ESL Teacher series. We are on to part 4, only one more week. If you haven't seen the first 3, I will link them up here. Go check them out. I will also link my CELTA series if you're interested in that. So we're going to jump right into this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to go about your job search to becoming an ESL teacher, and then also what the interview process is mostly going to look like. So in order to obtain a job, or at least apply for an ESL job, you can basically just Google ESL jobs and 150 gajillion websites come up. So there's a lot of different options. I'm going to kind of highlight the 3 main options that you can go about getting an ESL job, and those are the ways that I have gotten my jobs in the past as well. So number 1, the most common, is just going and finding an ESL job site or job board. There are 2 that I have successfully used in the past that I definitely recommend. I will link them in the description bar below. And I would also say that they're probably kind of the 2 most popular websites that everyone uses, and that is Dave's ESL Cafe and TEFL.com. So they're fairly similar, and a lot of them are going to have overlapping jobs on both of them, but there are slight differences, so let me explain. So with Dave's ESL Cafe, that's probably the number 1 ESL job board. Pretty much every ESL person I've ever met, everyone talks about it. So it's definitely a great place to start. It's a great website just in general for having just ESL teacher tips, and has discussion boards. They have 3 different boards. They have a South Korean job board that's just all South Korean jobs. They have a Chinese board that's all just jobs in China, and then they have their international job board, which is what I have used in the past. The international job board has jobs from all over the globe. It's kind of incredible. It's things from like Siberia to the Bahamas. Dave's ESL Cafe has jobs of any kind, whether it's working in schools, whether it's working in learning centers, whether it's working volunteer work, or online work as well. The description sounds interesting, or the country sounds interesting, you can just click it and it will give you a description of the job, the qualifications that they're looking for, and any other information that they want to give you. And then of course the contact information at the bottom will tell you how to apply for this job. This website is updated multiple times per day, so if you don't find anything right away, keep checking back. I look pretty much every single day on Dave's ESL Cafe, and even when I'm not job searching, I still look on it, because if there's a job that I think sounds interesting, I might bookmark it and try again, in 6 months when I need another job. The only thing that I would say be a little bit careful with Dave's ESL Cafe is, since there are so many jobs, the volume is so huge, there is potential. I can't speak today, y'all. I'm really tired. I'm just gonna let you know. I'm really tired today. That's why I look ratchet. Okay. There is potential for scams on Deves. I just want to say Deves. If I say Deves, I'm talking about Dave. Sorry, Dave. Dave's ESL. Watch out for scams. I have never personally come in contact with that, and I'm sure that they do have some kind of monitoring system, but if you're committing to a job on the other side of the world, you want to make sure that it's legit. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later on in this video, but I would just be a little bit cautious with Dave's ESL, and just make sure that you check out all the links and just don't get scammed. So with TEFL.com, it's maybe ever so slightly more professional. The jobs are maybe tiny bit higher caliber, although some of those jobs are also going to be on Dave's ESL Cafe as well. But with Dave's ESL, you apply for everything individually, whereas with TEFL.com, you actually sign in and get a profile. It doesn't cost any money or anything, it's free. But you fill out your CV, and then you just submit your CV with like 1 click to every job that you're interested in. It's also kind of cool because when you set up your CV, it is live for as long as you need it, and then if you haven't used it in about 3 months, it goes dormant. So currently my account would probably be dormant because I haven't been on the website using the website recently. But then when I need to apply for another job, I can just log back in and reactivate it. So it's really cool because jobs can actually contact you if they like the look of your CV, or if, I think on there you can list like your top 3 or top 5 countries that you're really, really interested in. So if there's a job in Morocco that's struggling to find teachers and they see, oh look, Grace loves the idea of teaching in Morocco and her CV looks awesome, they could actually contact me. Has this ever actually happened to me? No, but it is possible. And so that's just kind of another little cool thing about TEFL.com that I really like. Apart from those two, there are other websites that you can just Google, but as I said before, I've been really successful with those 2 websites. I've gotten 2 jobs off of Dave's ESL and then 1 off of TEFL.com, and it's been really, really great. After that, there are 2 other ways that you can get ESL jobs that are common, at least. You can hire an agency that will submit your CV to specific schools. I don't really see the point in that because it's quite easy to get your own ESL job. But if you have something, really specific, like I specifically want to work in Spain with 9th graders, like an agency might be able to be really helpful in that way. Or if you're an American looking to work in Europe, maybe an agency might be able to get you a job that's actually legitimate, that's going to be legal. Or maybe I could see someone who has like really, really incredible qualifications and they don't want just a learning center job. They want something like at a university or something like that. Then maybe an agency would be the right route for you. But as I said before, I've never had trouble finding jobs just on my own. But agency might be really, really cool and really easy. So something to look into. And finally, another way to get an ESL job is through a job fair. On websites, especially like Dave's ESL Cafe, some of the higher paying jobs, like in Saudi Arabia or UAE or Oman or something like that, a lot of those companies will have job fairs around the world. So you can look for job fairs near you, especially if you live in a big city like San Francisco, Toronto, Sydney. You can find a job fair near you where the company is actually going to be there. You can go and have an in-person, face-to-face interview, which is really, really good to show you that it's a legitimate job and just kind of get to know the company. So that's a really cool idea. I've never personally gotten to go to one of those, but if I ever lived in a big city near one, that would be awesome. A little bonus way you can get an ESL job also is just go to the country that you want to and find a job once you're there. I'm not the type of person to do that because I kind of want stability, but there are a lot of people out there that will just go show up in Thailand and get a job. And it's probably quite easy to do that, to be honest. They would rather just have the person there in front of them, see that they're a real person, that they can start tomorrow, rather than have to deal with, airfare and things like that. So that's also another option. So now that you have applied for a job, maybe you have ended up with an interview. That's awesome. So unless the interview is going to be like at a job fair, which would be face-to-face, most ESL job interviews are going to be over Skype because the person interviewing you is in Cambodia or is in Myanmar or wherever it is that you're applying. And you can be in the comfort of your own home. So Skype interviews are completely ordinary, totally common. Don't get freaked out. Sometimes they are going to ask you to prepare a demo lesson. That's happened a couple times with me. It's really not that common. And even if it is, don't freak out. They're really not as terrifying as you think they're gonna be. It is weird to talk to an English speaker acting like a non-native speaking 5-year-old, but they've done it 150,000 times, so they don't care. You shouldn't care. I have an entire video about questions that you should ask during an ESL interview, which I will link up here. Please go check it out. I actually think it is a really, really helpful video. Not just saying it, not just because it's self-promotion, but I actually really think it's really helpful, so go check that out. One thing that I definitely recommend doing to make sure that it is a legitimate job is at the end of the interview, they're gonna ask you, do you have any more questions? It is completely normal, and I recommend asking for some contact information of current teachers at the school, because then you can email them, you can Facebook stalk them, whatever you need to do to make sure that they are legitimately where they are, where, you know, living where they say they're living, and then they can give you honestly an unbiased opinion because no one's going to be monitoring those emails. It's just a really good way to make sure that it's a legit job, and it also could potentially, you can make friends before you even go there. So that is something that I absolutely recommend doing. It's not going to be weird. They'll give you information for sure. Other things to ask about is airfare. A lot of jobs, and this is a really, really good perk, is a lot of jobs will pay for your airfare to and from your home. Sometimes, and this is also legit, so don't freak out if this is how they do it, some jobs will pay for it outright, which is fine, and then some jobs will have you pay for the ticket there, and then after working there for 3 to 6 months or something, they'll pay you the money back. That only is because a lot of ESL teachers, and this, I don't like this at all, but a lot of ESL teachers will start a job, they'll decide they don't like it, and so they'll just like disappear. And by disappear, I don't mean like kidnapped, but they'll just like go home and not tell the company. So the company lost out on that entire contract. And it just, it makes me so mad. I'm just a very loyal person, and unless it was an absolutely horrendous job that was abusing me in some way, like, I'm gonna stick with the job. So be like me, okay? That is why some jobs won't pay for your plane ticket right out the bat, because they want to guarantee that the person's gonna be there for at least 6 months. So that is one way that they might pay for your airfare. Also, you can ask about housing. You know, if you're going to go and live in a place like Tokyo or Hong Kong or Abu Dhabi, somewhere that's insanely expensive, it's really, really nice if they offer an accommodation package. Sometimes that means you have to live with random strangers, which is not always the best thing. I've had great experiences and horrible experiences, but it does save you a lot of money, because if you're going to go and work in Tokyo, most of your paycheck is going to go to wherever you're living, most likely. So apart from those few things, check out that video for all the questions that you should ask. I hope that you found this video helpful again as well. Check back next week. Make sure you subscribe, because it is our final video, and I'm not going to tell you what it's about because I'm not completely sure myself. I have an idea, but I don't think it's very fleshed out yet, so I feel really stupid. Please subscribe, thumbs up, bye.